I'd like to do an updated guide on my recent video on what I thought was the best way to level up, especially early game. But I found it's even better if you can get a certain weapon and you can bring from level 27 to level 100 and you get millions of XP, a lot of gold, a lot of gear, and you could sit in this if you want until level 100, which I've been doing. I've been doing off and on. This dungeon I'll show you that I showed in the last video, and then going back to, clearing out some of my board. But I wanted to sit in this probably till I'm level 100 because it's so quick. You get so much XP in a short amount of time. And once I walk over here, I'll show you the weapon I'm using. This weapon here is called the Sword of the Trainee. If you see, you get +1 per level of experience gain. So as you're leveling this up, you get a good percentage of XP gain while you're just playing the game. This also works with, the mage and the huntress. They have different weapons, but they all will be a trainee weapon. So you just look for this certain weapon in whatever hero you're playing. It'll say trainee at the end, and it'll have percentage of XP gain. And I'll just run through this dungeon and just show you how much I get at level 62 with this weapon. And I clear it pretty good. I haven't had any problems. I'm still debating on what kind of build I want to do for endgame, but so far this build that I'm running is pretty fun to play. I'll probably make another video on what build I used while I was going through the campaign of the game. Had no issues with the campaign. Pretty much like I showed in the last video. A little bit more hectic now since I'm a higher level. But you get so much XP from this, so much gold. You also have gear that drops. And you get a lot of maps as well. Hopefully they'll maybe try to do something, because it does suck that this is the best way, because it would be nice just to do the campaign and it'd be a fast way to do it, but I think they just overtuned everything in this dungeon. But you'll see that you get a lot of gold, you get a lot of XP, you get a lot of Slorm. Right now I'm maxed we're not maxed on Slorm, but I haven't needed to use any Slorm because I've upgraded everything I needed to. But you just go home and you'll see that I get over 1 million experience, over 2 million with just the level I am. I'd say I can run this maybe 3 or 4 times and it'll grant me a level, which is 10 times faster than just doing the end game at the moment. It does suck, but it's not bad. It's like you spend 3 minutes or so each level, 4 minutes maybe, depending on your build that you have. Currently, this is the build I'm running. I'm only running this for XP for this node right here. You have 20% experience gain is the only reason I'm running this class. But once I go into the end game, this is the class I'll be running because it's just super tanky. You run this class during the campaign, nothing really hurts you at all. You're pretty much untouchable. I had no problems, no bosses. I could pretty much sit there and just tank anything thrown at me. So yeah, through the campaign I pretty much just ran, Mighty Swing. There's builds out there, especially for early game. For me, for Mighty Swing, I just ran, especially this node right here is really good for Life Leech early on. But once you get down to here, you'll eventually want to get rid of that, and during your block chance and stuff. But this node right here is really good early on. But the only downside is you can't equip any legendary equipment, which is fine because majority of the legendary equipment you get early on does not have really good stats, and the legendary thing that is given to you isn't really useful. So if you get this node right here, you do so much damage early on. And then I just ran a grappling hook so I could bring all the enemies into me. This ability is really cool, which I could show. Let's see. I could show you real quick. But, yeah. This is really good because it is a pain when you're a melee class in any game. You gotta kind of like chase people down. But you can pretty much just bring them all into you, which is, with this class, is not a bad thing at all because you're so tanky. Like, let's say, because this is not the sword I'd normally be using. This is, I'll show you the sword I was using, which is this sword. But through the campaign, you could literally just level the base sword that's given to you, which you could see that's what I did. And it carried me through the whole campaign. I had no issues. But if you get your hands on this sword right here, you get so much life, and you're so tanky. But you should see that I went from 12k HP to over 18k HP. And I'm not even my tanky, this is the nice thing about this game, is that you can pretty much refund anything and it won't cost you nothing. Later on, it'll get a little tedious, but early on, it's really nice to try out different skills and abilities, which I'll show you just with me going back to my protector. I have 22,000 HP at level 63. I hate these mobs right here. I want to just scream at you, but it's really nice. You can bring all these mobs. Kind of reminds me of something out of a game like Spawn. You know, Spawn Armageddon, if anyone remembers that game. But this game is it's a really good game. It's definitely still like somewhat early, but they did a really good job on this game. It's nice seeing small companies like this make really good games. Pretty much just bring everybody into you, especially I have like a node that gives me HP when I bring them in. But even through the campaign, that ability can pretty much one-shot a decent amount of mobs. You see, it's definitely a really good build just to get you through the campaign. And then you can just pretty much, once you get to either this dungeon, you can pretty much just sit in that dungeon until you get tired of it. But also, like, another tip as well, when you're doing that dungeon, you want to make sure you keep your stacks going with your kill stacks. So you want to keep that streak always going. That's how you get the most amount of XP, the most amount of Slorm. Gold really doesn't matter because you get gold when they die, which is another little tip here, is if you go to, if I can remember where it's at. Yep, it's in your character sheet. Go to Filtrotron. For me, through early game, I pretty much just had, I took, what did I get? Yeah, I got rid of this, and I pretty much just had this for all of these, which is just, I have these four selected, and it will drop pretty much gear that you need, which like for my raw damage. And in order for that to show, you need to go to your character sheet, like right here, and you can just click on what you want. So for me, I wanted more life. Well, in the earlier part of the game, I had regeneration and life leech, but since I don't want that no more because I'm so tanky, I just had max life. And then you go to your second sheet of either you want armor. For me, I want raw damage. So it'll only show equipment with those stats that's on it. And anything else will either turn into gold or Slorm. For me, I was struggling with gold after a campaign, so I pretty much just had anything that doesn't drop with these on it will turn into gold. And I've been doing that as I'm leveling up to, you know, better equipment. So the higher up you get, you can turn it all into gold, and that's pretty much the best way for me. If you got any questions, let's put it in the comment section and everything like that, and hope you guys have a good day.